There was a brief period of time where people were really talking about bronies, which were bros that were into My Little Pony. I don't know if you Gen Zers still have that terminology, or even if things are still considered on fleek. Or if they ever were. Anyway, Emily Swindal and Kyle Stover, two hilarious guests, brought me into this world of the magical friendships and horses that is My Little Pony. I learned things, like Weird Al Yankovic's hilarious involvement. Well, Weird Al involved in anything is probably going to be really funny. Whatever, I learned. Enjoy!
You may love a thing that I can't stand, spiders, tofu, watching Homeland. Our interests are all varying. It's fun to be contrarian, but I'll try things that you all love to see if I can rise above. But maybe there's a chance that I just won't. So in that case, don't mind if I don't.
Welcome to Don't Mind If I Don't. Hey, I'm your host, Aaron Gold. This is the show where I don't like things, and fans and experts come on and show me why I'm wrong so I can be in touch with my inner child and that little magical pony that lives in my heart and all of our hearts. Today we're talking My Little Pony. Specifically, friendship is magic.
Yep.
This show that I'm going to be, this cultural phenomenon which has created brony after brony and people loving Pegasi and
7 seasons of animation.
7 fucking seasons.
Well, they just started the 8th, yeah.
We'll get into that in a second, but we've got 2 lovely My Little Pony experts. First of all, writer, comedian, and human pixie, Emily Swindal is here.
I am. Hi.
Hi, Emily. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm really excited.
I'm excited to hear you do this. And I'm realizing now, as people who can't see you, you are not a child, but you do have a very childlike voice and sense of wonder to you.
I'm 29.
Oh, really?
I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm the baby here.
Aww.
Oh.
Speaking of our little baby, please welcome back to the podcast voice actor, improviser, and content creator for YouTube channel The Leaderboard, Kyle Stover.
Hey, I'm back, everybody.
You're back. Last seen on the Overwatch episode,
Yes.
and you have not been seen or heard from since.
Not on the show, but...
No, in life.
I mean, I didn't go underground. If anything, I just went to the internet.
Whoa.
Which in many ways, I guess, is the underground.
Yeah, it's a series of tubes. All right, so everything on this show gets rated on a scale of 0 to -10. 0 being my ambivalence, -10 being blood-curdling hatred. Before I watched some episodes of My Little Pony,
He loved it. He loved it. Okay.
I had it clocked at a 3.
Okay.
A -3. And let me clarify that this is not like judging the show as a show in general. This is judging the show as me, an adult man. Like, I get how kids can like this.
Yeah.
That's obvious. This is about me trying to become a brony. After watching 4 episodes.
Yay!
The first 3 episodes.
Nice.
And then season 2, episode 7 about Rainbow Dash choosing a pet.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I am now at a -8. Fuck this show.
No.
Fuck these ponies.
No, I'm so...
Fuck them.
This is...
What?
I feel really upset right now.
A jump of 5
I
numbers.
You feel upset.
I want to hang all this up.
You feel upset. I feel tricked. No, I love shows that are made for people of all ages. I think they're great. Steven Universe, I think, is, if I had to pick, Steven Universe is the best show currently on TV. My Little Pony is not an all-ages show.
No,
it's for
not.
kids.
It is.
It is just for kids. I don't understand why any adults like this. So please, guys, enlighten me. Why do adults like this show?
I feel a little victimized right
A
now.
little bit.
Well, welcome to the fucking game.
Oh my god.
Oh, geez. Emily, you sound like
That was too much.
You both seem taken aback by my response.
Yeah.
a jump of 5 points down from watching
I think
4 episodes, which have a pretty good musical numbers in them.
I will say one thing. I did dig the music. The theme song is great. All the musical numbers I heard, I'm like, even if I'm not jamming to these, they're all well written and very well executed.
Let me understand. You watched the first 3
Yes.
and then the choosing a pet episode.
Yes, because I wanted to watch an episode later in the series, and of all the ones you guys recommended, season 2, episode 7 was the latest.
Yeah. May the best
okay.
pet win. Okay.
I just wanted to see if like maybe they develop like a through line or some more
Got it.
all ages themes later. And nope.
What? Because you only got to season 2. I
that's
didn't want to
'cause
send you too
yeah.
far.
That is your fault. That is your fault. I asked for what
Yes.
episodes
I
to
know,
watch. Do
that's
not
true.
put that shit on me.
Well, then you
But-
can't give that criticism. Though.
I can easily.
Okay. So, no, none of the ponies develop in a way similar to Zuko from Avatar Last Airbender, the greatest character arc of all time.
I'd be hard pressed to disagree with you.
But there is growth in these characters. For
There's
the most part,
a ton of character
they stay
development. A ton.
generally the same. Pinkie Pie is always a goofball. Twilight Sparkle is always just a book nerd. Rainbow Dash is super cocky forever. But, for example, in the beginning, we see Rainbow Dash immediately brings up that she loves the Wonderbolts. And by season 5, she is introduced into the Wonderbolt Academy. And by season 6, she is an official Wonderbolt and is like hanging out with like her previous idols. And they're like giving her nicknames and stuff. There is growth, and you see characters get to live their dream, which is
Yeah.
super cool. But I didn't want to send you there because then the
I don't want
payoff's
to
not as
spoil you.
planned.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want spoilers? Cause
I mean, yeah, I'll say this right now for anybody invested in the plot of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. There are going to be some spoilers here.
Okay.
But it took 5 fucking seasons to get any progress on there. And these seasons are how long is a season?
Like 26 episodes.
26 episodes. And
Yeah.
these are not short
22
episodes.
minutes.
22 minutes.
These are all 22-minute, these are half-hour episodes. I feel like all of them could have been like 15 minutes long.
No. You're just no. No.
They didn't feel stretched to you?
No.
What? Okay, why do you like it?
Okay.
Emily.
Well, there's a lot of things. First, I'm
Yeah,
going to read
Yeah, I feel like we
to
kind of
you-
jumped to the middle.
We did.
Yeah, you
Let's-
did.
let's hear
so
it.
let's backpedal. I'm going to read to you an important quote from the creator, Lauren Faust. She says, "Many people, even watching this show, label it girly, stupid, cheap, for babies, or an evil corporate commercial. I encourage skeptics to watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic with an open mind. If I'm doing my job right, I think you'll be surprised."
All right, I do not think it is evil or corporate or anything like that. I understand how like kids can really dig this.
Okay.
I'm not
But
arguing
it's
for
not
kids.
for your audience, is what you're saying.
Yes, I don't understand how bronies are a phenomenon. I
Okay.
don't understand how I can be. I want you to turn me into a brony.
Let us have the floor.
It is yours.
Thank you. Okay. I'm turning pages loudly. I'm so sorry.
You
makes
have
it
a book
ver-
of notes.
Well, I mean,
It's very
I
official.
took a few pages because I don't want to sound like a dum-dum. But I feel like we could have an hour talking about the show as well as I want an hour to talk about the brony culture because that super fandom is a whole nother
Mess.
realm and mess is a word too. But yeah. So if you want us to pitch you on the show, okay.
yeah, let's talk show.
Okay. It changes, I think, a lot of challenges in terms of gender identity is one of the big keys. And like, I know you're into the Marvel universe. I'm guessing you grew up on cartoons as well.
Mhm.
But a lot of the problem is that feminism and female characters are not centered as the main protagonist and the norm. Like 20 years ago, I forget her name, she wrote about what's called the Smurfette syndrome, which is where like males are the main characters and then the female is the sidekick. And My Little Pony challenges that. And it's, what if females were just the normative? And Spike, who's the little male friendship pony, not a pony, I'm sorry, a
He's a
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah, thank you. He's the sidekick. And it's complete role reversal. And I can't think of any other show that has 3-dimensional characters that are well defined in their characterizations. For example,
Steven Universe.
I'm not finished with my sentence.
Sorry.
That are completely not just like punch the Bechdel test, but like kick it in the ass several miles. In terms of even love on the show is never really a central plot point. It's always just like a last minute little crush that's on the sidelines of the narrative. It's so transformative in terms of, oh, females aren't just an accessory. Not the whole thing is female. Even the background characters you assume are female. That I don't know when else you see that in a kid's show. And the females are 3-dimensional. They're not giggly, googly, flat dum-dums.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's really important.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think y'all know me. I'm all down with the female
Right,
empowerment.
you are.
I think, though, in this day and age, I've seen that done for all ages shows better. Like,
That's true. Okay.
one of the
what you're
episodes you
saying.
guys had me watch, the one where Rainbow Dash is choosing a pet.
Yeah.
Here is the moral of that episode, because this tortoise kept on wanting to be the pet that she chose, and she kept saying no, 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 and shunning it, and then at the very end, she picks the tortoise.
Yeah.
So that's telling our kids, hey, if you love something, no matter how many times it tells you no, no matter how many times it pushes away from
I
you,
don't
you
think
keep
that's- I don't
persisting,
think that's the
you'll
point.
break it down eventually.
I mean, that's
And it's not really what it's saying, but
The
I'm making
story's
fun of
not
it.
from the tortoise's point of view, though. The story is from her point of view of what she's learning, and that what you want right away, maybe for superficial reasons, and maybe a more meaningful connection with someone who cares about your best interests is what's beneficial. I think that's the lesson from that story.
All right, that's a pretty good interpretation.
Thank
if
you.
I could get into a few.
Have at it.
Thank you. There's. I some of the arguments I thought I was going to have to be arguing are not what you're getting at. So
Aha.
if this doesn't quite fit the mold, but when I've talked to people about the show in the past, one of the big things is like there's a lot of animation, and it's like really good animation. Lauren Faust is the creator of some amazing shows that like any kid will remember from their childhood, of like Powerpuff Girls,
Powerpuff Girls,
Dexter's Lab,
Foster's Imaginary Friends.
Samurai Jack.
I dig the animation. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to crack on the
And
animation
it's
at all.
done
I
in
like
Adobe
the style.
Flash. That's crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really impressive.
But also when I watch some of the episodes, there are plenty of moments where like you go like, wait, why is this the conflict? Just go and talk to them. Like it's like there's an episode where Spike has invited two of his friends, and they both come to town at the same time. And he goes, oh no, they're so different. If they meet each other, they're going to not like each other. So I will try to play the whole avoid each other, try to be in two places at once. And it's like, why? Like you're screaming at your television, like just introduce them, like quit assuming. And you go like, oh yeah, well it is a kid show. So they have to make a conflict so that way people can go like, in any show you'll see someone do something dumb. I remember a sitcom where someone accidentally put something in their pocket and like walked out of the house with it, and they're like, oh no, I stole this from them. And it's like, right, you can go home and be like, hey, I accidentally grabbed this, let me give it back to you. But they make an entire 20-minute episode out of it.
Yeah, they
This
invent
is-
conflict where
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be just to push a storyline across.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a show being watched by like 20 or 30-year-olds. So there's
Yeah.
always a conflict where they want to have the people almost from the beginning see that like this is very easily resolved, because then when it comes up in your life, you know, oh yeah, I probably am just as blind as the character was of I can't see this, and I should be able to solve this.
Yeah,
So-
but that's a great point for why it's a good show for kids. I'm not debating
Right.
that it's
Right.
a good show for kids.
Got
I'm
it.
talking about why me as an adult man,
Okay.
how can I
Because-
enjoy this show?
because
I think it challenges toxic masculinity, which is such a problem that our generation is trying to combat right now. And it's,
also true.
yeah, it's,
Agreed.
oh, I don't have to live in these gender norms. I feel like bronies and My Little Ponies. Oh,
I wasn't done with the point I was getting at.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, it's all right. You weren't the first one to cut me off.
Oh, me? You're going to try and shame me, motherfucker?
Okay.
So,
I'll ride your pony into the fucking sun, man. Let's do this.
let's do this. So, there is an episode where there are episodes that cover conflicts that I find very relevant to my 20s, such as have you ever had this situation where you've been not social for a while, and then you hang out with your friends, and your friends have made an inside joke that you're not a part of.
Ooh.
And they address this in this show. And I'm like, this is a lesson I need to learn. Because by the end, they're just like, hey, we know you were busy. We respect that. We respect you. We just like, we're not as busy as you. We did a thing. Something came up. We had a joke. We're going to build our own inside jokes. They're going to build their inside jokes. And like, it's okay. And by the end of the episode, they've built another inside joke. and someone else is left out of that joke, and they'd all just kind of laugh and like, see, we just all need to learn this lesson. And like, there's plenty of episodes where it's like, you need to just learn to share, and like, babies are difficult, but some of them are like,
some of them, they get really deep.
They get really deep.
There's an episode where a character thinks they've lost a pet, and they go into the 5 stages of grief.
Which character?
I forget. I'm expert, but not expert. I have a life, but I'll tell you that much. Okay, I'm super knowledgeable. Okay, so I need to focus on how this is selling for you as a grown-ass, now 30-year-old man. He had his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I have a cookie I'm going to give you later when you give out your new judgment of the episode.
Oh, you're going to try and bribe me?
I am.
Live on the air.
I have integrity, kind of. Okay, but yeah, so I think it challenges gender roles that a lot of men, I think, deal with. But I think even more so than that is that as a female, I feel like, well, men honestly are kind of the problem in terms of abuse and aggression that we have in society.
Agreed. Both Kyle and I are nodding.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
sorry.
I think something like My Little Pony is the antidote to that.
Here's, oh man, there's no way to go from just talking about how, toxic masculinity for me to go like, here's why I disagree.
Exactly. I pinned you against a wall here, didn't I?
No, well executed. I agree that I think it's wonderful that it does that. My point is that there are many shows out there right now, not a fuck ton, but there are a number of shows that showcase female empowerment and strength without bending to male whim, while still being entertaining for literally all ages. Steven fucking Universe is my prime example of that. This Is Us is a great show.
So I think the main issue is you wrapping your brain around enjoying a kid's show as an adult. It sounds like is the main thing.
Well, I mean, I can enjoy. Yes. I'm gonna a show specifically aimed at kids versus a show specifically aimed at all ages, because like I've always loved animation. I'm down to give any cartoon a shot, but you've got to treat me like I don't have a child brain. Like you've got to have some stuff in there for me.
For me, I like watching kid shows at the end of a long day. For me, it's a little bit of an escapism. Is kind of the appeal. Getting back to when someone's treated me like crap, and then it's sort of a massage for your brain to watch a kid's cartoon that's nothing but goodness. There's no ill will. There's no characters. There's no women pitting against each other. There's no manipulation. There's no...
It's like a TV blanket.
Yeah, there's no darkness.
Okay.
Which, and even on
And
sometimes
when there is
shows,
darkness, it's very clear, like straight evil.
Yeah, and but what's also interesting is that the villain characters also can evolve. Like Discord was the bad guy, and then even he has characterization and character development. Who is voiced by John Delancey of Star Trek? By the way, tidbit. And he was a producer on the Brony documentary that came out. One of them. But anyway, I think it's helpful to appreciate kids shows as an adult from a sort of cathartic point of view.
I can agree that I can see how it's escapism. That's not my personal brand of escapism.
Yeah.
But I can see it and acknowledge it and respect them. And I will say, like, I didn't find the show very funny, but it did have a couple of moments that did really get me, like in the first 2 episodes, that 2-parter. First of all, if you need a drinking game, watch those and take a drink every time they say the word pony. You will be done 5 minutes in.
Oh, you have no idea how that continues.
But the thing that I really liked about it was the evil pony in the moon.
Nightmare
Moon. Yeah. Goes like, how dare you challenge me, you fools. I'm like, that's a good pun. That's a really good.
If you enjoy puns,
There's
you
a
will
whole
love this show.
cultural lingo. I mean, they say instead of everybody, they say every pony.
I know. Yeah.
Like I'm a little bit of a closet My Little Pony fan. So when I'm admitting publicly I'm a My Little Pony fan, I'm coming out of the stable. And people who don't like My Little Pony, I would call them naysayers.
Oh, that's really good.
There's a lot. There's a whole vocabulary that
if
you don't know.
If you like puns and wordplay, this show is great.
It's got a lot. It's got a lot.
The cities are all plays on horse names.
Like
so
Philadelphia,
Manhattan, Cloudsdale,
there's a Niagara
Minneapolis,
Falls.
Niagara Falls.
I will-
Pony Island, I think, is the
There's
laziest
a lot.
one.
All right. Don't get your hopes up, but just this information brought me from a -8 to a -7.
Yay!
Okay,
So
it's a step. It's a step.
It's a step. Like
I
that
think
progress.
you need
Oh,
to
we've
be
still got a long way to go,
lot higher.
motherfucker.
I know.
We've got a long gallop ahead of us.
Whoa.
It's taking over. If I may,
Yes.
something you're talking about, feeling like you need something for you as an adult to enjoy.
Yeah, I need something that says, "Hey, this is for you
They
as
have
well."
dirty jokes a little bit here and there. They're not anything too intense, but they do.
We'll get to that in a second. I want to hear what Carl.
One of the I didn't get in right at the beginning. I had a friend who introduced it to me at the beginning of season 2. He was talking about Discord and being voiced by John Delancey, and this character Discord being very similar to the character Q from Star Trek, which I believe I heard something about, like, this character was inspired by Q, and it'd be great if John Delancey could. And John Delancey was like, "Hey, I'm interested.
Yeah.
How can I get involved?" And they've had a few people like Weird Al Yankovic and William Shatner be like, "Hey, this show's interesting." And they're like, "Would you like to come on?" They said yes. So they get a guest star for an episode. But John Delancey specifically, this character Discord, he is known as a Draconicus,
There you go.
which is, I thought it would be something maybe I could find in the Monster Manual of D&D, but nope, totally made
I'm
for the
assuming
show.
he's a dragon pony.
He is made up of
A million things.
a million things. So he has a snake-like body, a horse's head, a cloven hoof, and a lion's paw, and a dragon's foot, and an
eagles
eagle's
somewhere.
claw,
There you go.
I'm going to remove
wings.
my phone from airplane mode just to look up.
Look up what he
is
looks like. He's
like
crazy.
the most asymmetrical looking character, and it's great.
Discord.
Discord.
All right. Keep talking while I'm looking it up.
Okay. So season 2 begins with him breaking out in the silliest little, silliest way, I think, of just how to break from 1,000-year sleep of just like 3 ponies have an argument nearby. And so he is awoken by the feeling of discord. And it's like, so nobody walked by with anger in their heart at some point for 1,000 years.
He's a cutie little everything.
I don't know. Q is what he was going for. But,
All these images make the
Okay,
Discord
yeah.
look very, very cute.
yeah, it is more
He's a
playful
villain
time.
that turns around with character development is what
Okay.
you need to know. He's
I do-
obnoxious for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I do like character development. Okay, keep going.
So in the season 2 opener, he takes away their Deus Ex Machina device called the Elements of Harmony, and says, "I'll give them back to you if you can solve this riddle." And then starts turning the ponies against each other, and starts them kind of making them their opposite self. Like Fluttershy's the kind one, she starts becoming a bully. Rarity is incredibly generous, and she starts becoming very selfish. And as she turns them all against each other, Twilight is the last one who kind of holds on to her own morality. And there's a point where she's feeling like the thralls of defeat, and she comes upon her town of Ponyville, and there's buildings floating upside down. The skybox is now just taken away with a checkered pattern similar to what you'd see in base animation PNGs. There's bison who are dancing in tutus. The dirt paths have been replaced with soap suds, and characters are slipping about, just like nonsense and craziness. And he's like, "Look at what I've done to your town." He picks Twilight up, and as second he picks her up, the sun goes down, the moon immediately comes up, and she goes, "Well, I can't see, it's dark." And he goes, "I'll just give it a minute, the sun will come up, or maybe it won't, I don't know." And he's just pure chaos. Like, even he doesn't completely control this. And so the characters rally, they get back their morality, they bond back together, and they face Discord for the final battle. And he is sitting on this throne in the middle of all this chaos, and he takes a glass of chocolate milk, pours it out, and then drinks the glass. Not the chocolate milk. The chocolate milk stays there, but the glass he drinks. And then he takes the chocolate milk, throws it over his shoulder, and it explodes in the background. And it's just like, this character makes no sense. And the animators probably had so much fun in this. And it just broke so many just basic physics laws that it was just so much fun to watch this character. And it was like this level of silliness in a character that I have like, Discord's probably one of my favorite villains ever.
That is intriguing to me. What was the riddle that he posed to them?
It was something like something about twists and turns.
It all rhymes. Who knows? We don't remember these things word for word.
Yeah.
All right.
It was basically
Watch the show, then you'll like it and watch it.
But here's the thing.
-5, we win.
What world is a -5 winning?
Because it's improvement.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
The music was very good.
The music's fun.
Yes.
And do you like musicals? I feel like there's a few points that I feel like if you refuse certain things, then you'll never like the show. If you can't wrap your head around enjoying a kid's show, if you don't like cartoons, if you don't like musicals,
I like all three of these.
if you like all these things, and if you're comfortable with embracing a show where female is the default, then you'll love My Little Pony.
No, hold on, because I am all those things, and I still did not like My Little Pony
then-
because I felt like I was being condescended to.
Okay.
I felt like there
Okay.
are ways of hitting these story points for all ages, like so many other shows have done. Powerpuff Girls is an all ages show
Yes.
in many ways. But I think like
Lauren Faust was the writer
I
and
know,
director. Yeah.
and I feel like she took a step back. I will say the animation is great, the music is great, but the story
So you
and
want to talk about
dialogue,
the writing a little more.
yes,
Okay,
the story
well,
and dialogue
let's get
are
into
lacking
that.
for me.
So, in terms of, I think the show is very character heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, is there a character that you had a preference that you felt leaning towards?
Yes, Rainbow Dash was cool.
Yeah.
But I really liked Applejack and I liked Fluttershy. I thought
Okay.
Fluttershy was the funniest.
Let's talk about those two. Okay, so Fluttershy is my personal favorite. I adore her. So she's timid and quiet, is her thing, and her talent is she can talk to animals. She's like a Dr. Dolittle, and she's a little insecure, and she doesn't do well at speaking up for herself.
It's my favorite moments that I saw were when she got excited and she would let her personality out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's precious. So what's interesting about the show is that they all have, the elements of harmony, kindness, generosity, loyalty, et cetera, et cetera. So Fluttershy's element is kindness. So being true to that, she's kind to a fault. And even when they don't deserve it, she can be nice to people when they take advantage of her and they're mean. So she's trying to learn how not to be a pushover.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of her character development is that in trying to learn how to stand up for herself, she gets too aggressive. And sometimes she can be too mean. And it's this three-dimensional dynamic of, oh, I'm a nice, kind person, but I can be a real bitch sometimes, and I'm a bully. And I got to figure out what the even balance is of that. You wouldn't get from like Care Bears or some shit.
I'll say Care Bears is not in my purview at all.
Right. I'm just thinking of something.
Is what you've just talked about. That sounds, and please tell me if I'm wrong, that sounds like a thing a lot of strong women deal with in trying to find the balance of.
Yeah.
Is that
And
okay.
I think that's why I liked her character the most, was that I saw that episode and went, oh, that's me completely. Another example is Applejack, who you said you liked. And her element is being honest. And there's an episode in where she's nominated to be a judge of a fashion show. But she's a country girl, and she's simple, and she doesn't appreciate frou-frou, ostentatiousness, or prima donnas. So she's a judge on a fashion show, and she's completely crass and rude and not tactful, but she's honest, so she thinks she's doing okay. And she ignores the sensitivities of all the fashion designers. And it's a lesson for her in balance and what being honest actually means, and still being considerate of other people and respecting them. And that's a three-dimensional character development that progresses through the show in each character. So the show is kind of, it's not really episodic or completely serial. It's kind of a mix of both, and that they, in each episode, they I can't talk anymore. They honor the character developments, but they focus on sometimes in episodes secondary characters, and they move around so that everyone grows and everyone learns.
But does it always have that kind of kiddie vibe that I noticed in these?
It's a little campy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little cheesy, and either you like that or you don't.
I'm fine with cheesy. I'm not fine with a show treating me like I don't get the very obvious thing and then spending the entire episode
Teaching you something.
Well, that's a jump.
Right. But I mean, like, it's so in your face.
Yeah, like really beating you over the head and not give. Here's what it is. I don't like shows that don't give their audience any credit. Steven
Okay.
Universe will. This is my gold standard because I think it's
I
the
haven't
best show on
seen
TV.
that, so I can't help you on that.
Oh man,
Highly recommend.
I've been wanting to do a Do Mind If I Do for Steven Universe. I will convince you to love that show.
Okay.
It's a show where there's a lot of stuff that's implied, and if you don't get it, it's fine. You still enjoy it, but if you do get it, you appreciate it on such a deeper level. I feel like My Little Pony does not have
I feel like My Little Pony
that
does.
palpable of a deeper level.
Do you mind giving an example of that?
Sure.
I guess I'll be the only one of the two who gets it.
So are you up to date on Steven Universe?
Yes.
You've seen the episode where it's the musical one where Greg and Steven and Pearl go to the city?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pearl's song, It's Over, Isn't It? Is so full of, I think it's something that kids can really appreciate, but adults who have had their heart broken or who've had someone else, like the person they love, pick someone else over you, or that friend that you were with for a long time and you thought that you had that romantic connection with, and then it turns out like, no, they just see you as a friend. Those moments, those subtleties are so encapsulated in this. I highly recommend, if you've never seen it, go to YouTube, look up It's Over, Isn't It? From Steven Universe, and that song
Watch
is
My Little
amazing.
Pony.
Follow that up. It's on Netflix too.
It is on Netflix. That's how I discovered it. Shh. This is
Well-
My Little Pony. This is not pitched for your thing. Be
So-
quiet.
You're right. You're right.
Specifically with that episode of Steven Universe, the It's Over, Isn't It? It's a gorgeous song. And I feel, while not romantic, but a similar feeling from the episode where Cheese Sandwich comes to town and he... It's a great name, I know.
I love that you're trying to show me how adult My Little Pony can be, but
You know what?
Cheese
Okay.
cheese
Sandwich. Fair. That's Weird Al Yankovic's character.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was him.
Yep. Which was it's pretty much a musical episode. Like there is more singing in that episode than
That's the Music
speaking.
Man episode, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
So Pinky's whole thing is she plans parties, and Cheese Sandwich comes to town and also is a party planning pony. And
No, it's not. The Music Man is the apple cider one. Okay, continue.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, though.
So he comes to town and it's like Rainbow Dash's like birthday. So he starts playing this party for her, and he does like grandiose things. Like Pinkie Pie be the one who would like have a great house party, would like throw a fun surprise party that you'd have with like 12 people.
And Pinkie Pie was like the really energetic.
She's the hyperactive
gotcha.
pink one.
The one that just breaks physics all the time. And the fourth wall. But Cheese Sandwich will plan like he would plan the events that would take up your entire block or shut down the city for a day. And so
bigger scale.
Yes. And so they have this weird dynamic where they both want the same thing, but everyone's super excited about Cheese because he's new. And it causes Pinky to be really sad that people aren't enjoying her parties as much. They're excited about this new person. And it's this great story about when someone else comes along that you thought you would work with, but instead you're against each other. Even if it's maybe not like directly, but like specifically, there was a time in college I wanted to be a video editor. And I had this awesome chance to work with this other guy. And I was like, hey, I'm so happy we're going to be working together on this project. And he kind of went like, yeah. I'm going to do this if you could help me with it. And it was like, oh, sometimes you're going to meet someone that you just don't get to work with, or
Don't click with.
or just has a different style than you, not even better or worse. And so she has a song in the middle that's all my life, all I wanted to do was make my friends want to smile true, but maybe I was wrong, and Pinkie Pie shouldn't plan parties at all. And it's this whole thing about feeling like, oh, this isn't my calling. And she didn't do anything wrong. She still is great at these things. It's just that someone else has come along that upstaged her, and she feels like she's questioning her own destiny.
What season is that?
I don't know. I would guess
maybe?
4 or 5. I don't know.
All
I
right.
would guess 4 or 5. I just feel like a show that teaches morals is appropriate for any age. Is really how I feel. And it does it in kind of a slow way. But at the end of the day, when I've heard something offensive from someone and I'm mad, that's kind of what I want. And it's dumbing down in the way of that there's no like bad agenda, and that it's teaching something that you should be maybe a little obvious, but at least it's 3-dimensional, and there's dynamics and there's conflict.
I did find it very
there's-
inoffensive.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's also nice as a woman to hear something where female is the default. Like, oh my God. And I wish I could have been a kid growing up with that. That would have been so nice. I don't know of another show where a kid's educational show where female is the goddamn default.
A matriarchal society, too.
Yeah, that's incredible.
The
Steven
mayor,
Universe, but okay.
the mayor of
I don't know
Ponyville.
this show,
right.
but it's
The mayor of
not a kid's
Ponyville is a
show.
woman.
It's
The
not.
princesses.
It is. It's an all ages show.
Is it cartoon?
Yeah.
Crap.
No,
I think it's also on the same network. What network is My Little Pony on?
it was on the Hub.
It was
which
on the Hub, and then Discovery Family. I watch it on
never mind, then.
Netflix.
Steven Universe on.
But
I am also
I
breaking
think we
protocol
need to
just to pull my
talk
phone
more
and show her
about.
Steven.
I think we need to talk more about brony culture too.
Yeah, let's talk about bronies because maybe
that's a
the way-
realm. That's a whole realm that you need to appreciate and understand.
I appreciate any nerd culture that doesn't treat others as lesser. So like my example of this is Rick and Morty fans are great. The Rick and Morty fans that gave McDonald's shit about Szechuan sauce are not. Because they are the ones that take it too seriously and treat other people that, like they're. Here's what it is. Continuing using Rick and Morty as an example, if you told me you never saw it before, if I said, "Oh, well, it's a really good show. Do you like this and this, or what do you like? Maybe you should watch this episode." That is the right way of saying it. The wrong way is, "You don't watch Rick and Morty? What's wrong with you?"
That's
Yeah.
how I feel right now inside.
Real quick, that's Steven Universe.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, like
Very fun.
for those of you that don't know, I'll mention Steven Universe
But
very
wait,
briefly.
the poster was a character of a boy. This is a female.
Yes, the main character. Well, one of the 4 main characters is a boy, but all
Is he a sidekick or just?
yes,
Okay.
like he is the sidekick.
Why is he the front of the poster?
I'm literally about to explain that.
Great.
There are these aliens named gems, all of them female. His mother was a gem. And they are these insanely powerful, rich characters. An entire race of all female presenting creatures.
Cool.
And they show that, like, all the men in the show or the boys in the show are far from the most powerful. They are, in fact, Steven has a best friend named Connie who kicks way more ass than he does and is way smarter than
Okay.
him.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or save it for Do You Mind If I Do, and I'll have you on to convince you.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Okay.
But
back to what's important.
back to what we're here
so
for.
why do bronies get into it?
Okay, I think for them, it's part of it is the escapism.
Okay.
I think part of it is also a escapism in a different way of the pressures of gender roles and gender identity. I think also that it's nonviolent and there's no manipulation. It's not a show that also pushes merchandise to the extent that like TMNT did.
That's fair. And I know it's a show based off of toys, but still, like, it does
They
seem
have
to stand
moral
on
lessons,
its own.
and it has its own substance to it.
One of the big arguments I saw for people when it first started being like, wait, why is this popular? Back in the first times I found out about the online brony culture was it allowed boys and men to see a show where characters openly talk about their emotions and are accepted in that.
Yeah, you're a man. You guys connect. You do this part.
So,
But you know what fucking does that better? Steven
Shut up.
Universe.
see, I actually would disagree with you on that.
Really?
Yes, because in My Little Pony, it is so talked about. It's just almost like it's not. There's like obviously the lesson at the end where they go, "What I learned today, yada yada." This, but there are times in the show where it's just like, "I'm sorry, did that bother you?" Like they just casually bring it up. It just is so easily discussed that it's not even a big deal half the time. In Steven Universe, it'll often be a plot point.
You're very unapologetic in terms of their feminism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their gender roles. I agree.
And, and it was a very accepting.
It's not a conflict. This is the norm, and you meet it or you don't like the show.
That I love and respect about it. Like, I'm not knocking it on that
It's
at
just-
all.
you're-
I'm already on board for that.
Yeah, but you're 30.
Yes, I am 30 now.
You're 30.
I feel like we've like stuck the knife in and we're twisting that.
Did.
I mean,
turned 30 yesterday. I turned 30 at 11:18 p.m. yesterday.
It has been like 12
24
hours.
I don't know. I get okay. So
it's a great show.
I'm not debating that it is a great show. I'm saying how
So
do
we
I
win.
get a fan? How do I become a fan? How do I become a brony?
It's a good show for stoners.
Now I have not watched it high.
Okay, that's an option.
So far, I'm intrigued by this Discord character.
I
Discord's
had
cool.
a friend of mine, the way he got his friends into it is he said, okay, I will buy the case of beer and the pizza, and I get to pick what we watch, and we don't. And
Oh my god!
and basically started the show. They're all like, Mark, like you're trolling us. And he's like, no, just
This is
watch
so
the
funny.
first episode with me. And at the end of the episode, he like stops and like Nightmare Moon has appeared. And he turns to his friends and he goes, well, and they go, well, I mean, we have to see how it ends.
That's not fair. That's not fair. That is a two-parter. The first episode is a two-parter. You can't pull
But
that.
then
in.
they
love
also
it.
kept watching.
I love it. I don't know.
But I will also say there was a bit of intoxication and free pizza.
I don't
so.
have any brony friends at all. I'm so excited to meet you. Yeah. I mean, I check like online forums and things from an outsider perspective. I would give a metaphor. My mother loves bird watching and she looks at it like, oh, that's so nice. That's how I feel about the My Little Pony community and culture. Like, okay, so what's interesting is that after an episode, sometimes I'll check online forums. There's a whole brony world we need to talk about a lot more. Like, give us another hour. There's all sorts of like, they have their own Comic-Con kind of things. The biggest one is in Baltimore. There's like
BronyCon.
Yeah, there's like 3 different documentaries that you can watch literally just about the fandom.
At least 2 of them are on Netflix.
Yeah, so I mean, there's people who make their own My Little Pony music. There's people who make their own My Little Pony art. There's people who write their own My Little Pony fan fiction, which has hundreds of thousands of entries, like hundreds and hundreds.
I believe that.
The longest the longest book series I've ever read
It's
was
insane.
a My Little Pony fan fiction.
Oh my God,
called
really?
Fallout Equestria, and it's longer than the entire Harry Potter series.
Oh my
I
God.
read it for years.
You're more than me. Wow. Okay, I'm not
Kyle,
on your level.
Do you describe yourself as a brony, Kyle?
I don't actually.
Why not?
You have to be. Wow.
I
no.
I am, but the term brony has gotten
It's got a negative connotation.
it's got a negative
by now.
connotation.
Yeah.
I want to say perverted, but that maybe is taking it too far.
What I don't like is that for me, I don't like the term brony associated with me because brony is male dominated term. And
Yes.
the whole premise of the show is where female is just the default, which, you know,
I hadn't thought about it
makes
like
me
that.
go, ugh.
Yeah. It's kind of like taking it
So
away.
I'm a Pegasister, is what you could call me.
Oh, that's even better.
There you go.
That's way better than Brony.
I'm a Pegasister.
I dig that a
There
lot.
you go. So
I would rather be a Pegasister than a
there
Brony.
you go. So there's art, there's culture. That's a whole nother universe that we could talk on and on and on about. I mean, there's forums. People live stream the episodes. People make their own video games out of it. People make their own drawings. Plus, there's also My Little Pony merchandise, which is intense. They have My Little Pony trading cards.
Yeah.
It's a whole realm, just like Star Trek is, or whatever.
Or Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt was a guest star on an episode.
Yes.
That does. Yes, he's excited because he knows what I'm talking about, and it's.
Oh, I just love Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, he's great, and the episode is a tribute to Comic-Con,
Oh.
and and.
Why didn't you recommend any of these, guys?
I don't, because I was trying to give you episodes that were for starters in the early seasons for
All right,
beginners.
Fair enough.
We could give you an updated list after.
It sounds like you're addicted, and I need to tell you the premise of later episodes so that you can follow those too.
I am not addicted.
You're interested. Here we go.
I am intrigued.
So
I'll take it.
yeah, he does a Comic-Con episode. He also does some stand-up where he kind of admits that he's a fan of My Little Pony. So what he talks about in the stand-up is he goes, my daughter's a fan of My Little Pony, and when I was a kid, I was into Star Wars, and my dad was not into Star Wars and didn't pay attention. But it was a whole realm that I was into, and my daughter was into My Little Pony, and I don't pay attention to it that much. So we passed down the torch of she has her own little cult, and I don't really care about it. And then for his stand-up special, like the next 10 minutes, or he goes into detail about the premise of My Little Pony, that it's obvious the joke is, I don't watch it, I don't care about it, but he pretty much pitches the whole show in detail.
What special is that off of?
I don't know. It's on Spotify and it's on the internet.
I'm sure if you look up Patton Oswalt Pony,
but
you find it.
he talks with a few mistakes, but he watches the show quite obviously. So he's a fan. So we've recruited him.
Okay. The intro stuff did not grab me. The music was all good. I could see myself unironically listening to the music from those, because all the music of that was very well written and very well executed.
I think the first 2 episodes, or even 3, are a little boring, but the point of them is that it sets up the premise so that you know what it's about in terms of, there's the main 6 and they have elements, and that's their characters.
Yeah,
In
it's
the same
just
sense,
written very hoof-fistedly.
It is. It is. Oh my God! There you see, you're in brony culture.
Yeah,
you're
see?
in it.
This is not how you sell me.
No, but it is a little boring.
Congratulations.
I rewatched them. And
What? Fuck you.
That was a line in
That was
an
a stretch.
episode. That was a line. Yeah,
I don't remember that one.
She says congratulations. Rarity does in a stressed
Who
episode,
wrote
and
that?
it's like,
That's a bit much.
are we implying congratulations?
No, we can do a better congratulations.
I mean,
than that.
there's so many pony terms. We could Google them. It's a lot. But
Muzzle tov.
there you go.
I have not heard of that one, and I'm surprised.
There's been a lot of even psychologists that have been interested in brony culture that have that are taking surveys and writing essays at universities, and the brony audience typically is somewhere between 16 and 30.
I think so.
They're men, and they're a little bit more introverted than normal, and this show sort of soothes them in how to morally and righteously make friends with people and talk to them,
and probably in shows the more awkward male nerd how to be more feminist minded.
yes, and how to respect women, but also how to talk to people, and I think that's the mindset that you have to embrace, is that it's a lot of the times, honestly, sorry, I'm going to offend people, but they're guys who don't get laid. And they live in their bedroom. A lot of them, not all of them, but at least the audience is all people who have a little bit of a wall up and feel a little bit insecure about themselves in some way. And even me as an audience member, I was bullied a lot as a kid. I had a back brace, I had scoliosis, it sucked. So when I watch this show, it's kind of like a massage for my brain as a do-over and understanding how to interact with people, how to make connections with people, how to appreciate other people's differences. And I don't even really care that it's a kid show. I don't have. Okay, I have a little bit of shame, but because I don't talk about being a Brony fan that much.
I have that as well.
Yeah. A lot of people
Whenever
do.
I watch it, I close my door and I skip the intro.
My roommates.
Intro's a really good song, I gotta
It
say.
is, it's
like
catchy.
when the guitar comes in, I was
We
like,
haven't
oh,
sung
this
it.
isn't bad.
We haven't sung
We don't
any
need
songs
to.
yet.
Oh, rude.
Can we end the episode of that?
Yeah.
You
We're gonna.
can
Great.
end the episode.
Okay. All right. You speak. I've been talking a lot.
No, go
What
ahead.
you've been saying
You
has
were-
been very
Thank
insightful.
you.
You were on a roll. I just wanted to come in and
I
just
don't-
be like, I'm
oh.
still here.
I don't know where my thought ends. It's part of the problem.
I can take it over if you don't
Great.
have.
Have at it.
Sure.
I galloped away from you.
Oh my God. You are a brownie.
I like puns.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like
There's a
my
lot.
little punnies. There's a very
Oh
big
my God.
difference.
I'm happy.
If there were more puns in those first few
Are you a
episodes, I
musical
would have.
theater fan as well?
I like some musical theater.
Okay.
They do a lot of references. Like Sondheim is played up a
Oh,
lot.
I'm not super into musical theater.
I mean, do you like? They do.
more modern musicals.
They do a lot of allusions. Do you like Doctor Who?
I do.
They do
There's-
Harry Potter references.
There's a
in
character
episodes.
named Dr. Hooves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They do a lot. Like Planes, Trains, and Airplanes was referenced. Pulp
Planes.
Fiction.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Shut up.
No, that's making the final edit.
Great. Pulp Fiction, things like that. Is this
Mad
right?
Men was referenced as
Yeah.
background characters in
The-
Manhattan.
The 100th episode was like just a tribute
Yes.
to Brony fandom. You go on. You sound like more of an expert than me, even.
You've had some excellent points, so
Thank
do
you.
not sell yourself
You're
short.
both geniuses.
Thank
on
you.
this.
Oh, thank you.
The 100th episode was entirely fan tributes. The main characters, since there's 6 of them, are called the main 6.
Would
Like
I-
MANE. Get it?
No, I got that one.
Okay.
Would if I watched that episode, would it be lost on me for not having been immersed in the culture?
I don't know.
You'd be able to enjoy a lot of it. So, like
Okay.
some examples, these 2 characters, Lyra and Bon Bon, were background characters with no names. The fans gave them those names. They started giving them background stories, some of which the writers said, "Hey, that's good. We'll use that," and some of which they totally threw away. Like Lyra has this like fan headcanon of that she somehow saw a human and is now obsessed with like trying to figure out human culture. And they were like, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. So let's scrap that. But we will make it that she and Bon Bon are best friends. And Lyra is a magic user who plays the harp because a liar. Bon Bon has this ridiculous story about she's a spy, which is why her characters had a different voice actor every time she spoke in the show. Dr. Hooves gets a British accent and at one point wears the iconic scarf and says Alonzi. I know that's mixing, but
Yeah, but it's fine.
and then like the main 6 are just in the background the entire time. And then the whole thing is leading up to a wedding. And the mayor goes, "Is everyone who needs to be here here?" And we look out the front door and we see the main 6 running to the church. And a character shuts the door and goes, "Nope." And they continue on. There's a bunch of stuff in there that like you'll still enjoy, like a DJ living with a pony who plays the cello, and how these two, even though have a very different style, are best friends. But then there's like Barry Punch is a character who has a fan headcanon of being drunk all the time, but they just have her with a giant barrel drinking out of a tankard.
All right. It seems like later seasons touch upon stuff that I resonate with.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish you'd watched more of them. I just want
Yeah,
I
we
will
should've
tell you
pointed you
this. I am. All right. Let's wrap up this.
He
last-
loves My Little Pony.
You are biting off more than you can chew.
No.
You are. I don't know, some pun about Salt Lick.
I'm from Salt Lake City. That's the name of another place.
Oh fuck, that's really good.
They have not used that one yet, actually.
Salt Lake
Also-
City is fucking genius.
Also, as a guy who loves fantasy, by the way, aside from there being Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasus working together, there are griffins, there are dragons, there are
They have
yaks,
Greek-
there are
yeah,
bisons.
they have
there
Greek mythology in there all over the
they have
place.
a
all
question
these
I had.
mythologies all over.
In the first episode,
Yeah.
what's the main one's name?
Twilight Sparkle?
Twilight Sparkle
Yeah.
rides on a chariot with Spike,
Pulled by 2 other
Pulled
Pegasus.
by-
by 2 Pegasus, and when
Pegasi.
she goes like, "Oh, thank you guys," and then they go,
Yeah.
What is the logic? Where is, like, who gets to talk and who is
Horses
just a
still
fucking
neigh.
flying horse?
I think that's just because the first episode they didn't want to pay for 2 actors to say a line. There's hilarious things of like,
you and I are both voice actors. We know that they could have gotten anyone of that regular cast to go like, hey, do something with your voice and just record this line. That was an intentional move to make them horses.
there's specifically an episode where they wrangle up sheep. And then they're like, great job. And one of the sheep goes, you could have just asked. And they close the door in its face. And so there's this whole joke theory of like, so wait, are sheep subservient?
All right, so that's funny.
So, yeah, let's talk more about spoilers, I guess, because you sound like you're more interested in where the show evolves.
I'm interested. Yeah, I think I need to see
Watch
where this
more.
goes, where it's when it's taken up speed and gotten to a
Yeah,
gallop.
so
If I started at a -8,
Mm-hmm.
I personally now
you're a 0.
I am at a -2 or 3.
Yeah, that's a good jump.
I will say that like I doubt its ability to draw me in,
No.
but you have intrigued me.
After this is over, we're gonna watch it.
No, because I've got another episode to record.
No,
And then after that, we're going to be back here and we're going to watch.
Please get out of my home. I could see myself, maybe even tonight,
yay!
smoking a little. Please don't clap into the mic.
Oh, I'm really excited.
I know. And I love that.
We just did the hoof bump.
Okay.
Back up to -4.
That probably also sounds really weird on audio.
Yeah. I think I could see myself smoking a little bit, watching the Patton Oswalt stand up, maybe seeing some episodes with Discord or the Weird Al Yankovic episode, and seeing if that might bridge something for me. I'm intrigued, but not hopeful. I don't think it can, but you have my interest enough, and there's so much fucking My Little Pony out there.
There's so much
That I feel
It's a
like,
realm.
okay, I watched some of the earlier stuff. It didn't grab me. Maybe later stuff will.
Okay.
Okay.
We can talk about spoilers.
No, we
We're
need
out
to
of
wrap
time.
this up.
We have to sing a song.
Oh, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, let's sing it.
Well, before we do that, do you have anything to plug, including my
Before
ears?
we lose everyone to our singing.
Watch
Got it.
My Little Pony. It's a great show for women. I'm awesome. Follow me on Twitter.
What's your Twitter name?
It's just my name.
Emily Swindal.
Yeah. Great.
Swindle is spelled,
SWINDAL. Not DLE. I don't steal.
except for hearts.
Whoa, that's true. It's making people bronies.
Kyle, what do you have to plug?
If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Alpha Lance. It's a screen name I've used for many years and now using my voice acting. I mostly talk about video games, specifically Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege. I will also totally talk to you about like any cartoons and animation, because some shows I check out like highlight clips on YouTube and I'm like, our cartoons were so much better. But some I watch, I'm like, as a kid, this would have been my life. Like The Amazing World of Gumball. I haven't watched an episode, but of the funny clips people post online, it looks like a really great show for kids.
I will say we are in a golden age of animation.
Yes.
It's so good right now.
Thanks to My Little Pony.
So if you want to follow me on Twitter at Alpha Lance, ALPHALANCE. I also am voices on 2 YouTube channels. Toad King Studios has a podcast called Foundation After Midnight Radio, where I am the host, DJ Skip, an eternal optimist in a very dark world. And then I also do voices for a YouTube channel called The Leaderboard, where we do 107 facts about pretty much any video game you can think of.
Yeah, like if you have spent time on YouTube and ever YouTubed anything with video games, you've probably seen one of those.
Whoa.
Probably. The leaderboard's getting pretty huge. It's also, by the way, made by Frederator Studios, a cartoon producing company.
Yeah, who do Bravest Warriors, which
Bravest
is
Warriors,
awesome.
they help produce Adventure Time and Fairly Odd Parents,
Yeah.
as well as many more.
I'm so into Bravest Warriors right now. Yeah, Emily, you personally,
Yeah.
in your time, Google cat bug.
Ah,
You will
Okay.
be such a cat bug fan.
Great.
Sugar beets.
I would like to plug the Magnet Mixer, which myself and the cast of You Are Not Alone host at the Magnet Theater every Thursday night. Show up at sign-ups at 5:30, shows at 6. Anybody, regardless of your skill level in improv, can come on stage and do a scene. That's
Watch My Little Pony.
and also, Sunday, May 6th at 6 p.m. at that Magnet Theater is the next You Are Not Alone. So
A
me and
great
that
show.
cast.
It's
Thank
a
you.
great show. I've been in it. Have you been in it?
I also have read on it.
Whoa.
Yeah, people read essays about stuff with depression or anxiety or anything along those lines, and then inspires hilarious, uplifting improv.
And it seriously is great to get a chance to vent some of that stuff. Can speak from experience.
Yeah, you've both done essays.
Yeah.
And Emily, you've also done improv in the show, right?
No.
All right, so let me take that clean. You both have done essays, and that's it.
Yeah.
And would love to do improv in it.
Sure. Well, talk to Katie Mordhorst.
Okay.
She organized the improv side of it. I'd take essays. Yeah, I think that's all I have to plug.
I gotta pee.
All right. Well, guys, thank you
sing?
very much for.
So what's our final
joining me.
score? Was it negative?
-3.
-3.
Oh, I think we deserve more than that.
Well, you don't.
Well, then let's watch some.
I have to record another.
We didn't record the song.
My little
Jesus
pony.
Christ.
My little pony. I used to wonder what friendship could be.
My little pony.
Till you all shared
this
its
happening?
magic with me.
Big adventure.
Tons of fun.
I
A
don't
beautiful
like this.
heart.
Faithful and strong.
Sharing kindness.
It's an
I
easy
feel like I'm
feat.
being
and
assaulted.
magic makes it
all complete. You got My Little Pony.
Why is this
'Cause
happening?
Because you know you are my very best friend.
Yay.
Keep
Intro
on
sequence.
Keep on minding and get the fuck out of my house.
No.